Lewis was an avid reader, a total bookworm. He was caring and compassionate. At 15, Lewis was committed to making his community a more peaceful and just place. His long-term goal was to be the first African-American president of the United States. Lewis was killed in a crossfire of a shootout in 1993. He was my oldest son. At the hospital, after I was told Lewis was brain dead, I left empty-handed, physically and within my soul. You see, at that time, there were no resources and no protocol for families impacted by murder in Boston. As a parent, I needed to know who could raise a child to kill. Doris was a mother, just like me, who tried her best to raise her son, Charles. Charles was the young man that was convicted of killing my son, Lewis. I saw her shame, and I felt her pain. It was then I realized that we were both impacted. I extended my hand and my heart of forgiveness, and Doris accepted. In the 22 years since Lewis has been killed, there have been an additional 1,296 homicides in the city of Boston. For each victim, there are at least 10 immediate family members that's impacted. That means that there are at least 12,960 survivors just like me. And these numbers do not include extended family members. They do not include friends, co-workers, classmates, nor neighbors who are grieving and are traumatized. And they do not include mothers like Doris on the other side of murder. Families on both sides of homicide undergo emotional, physical, and financial stress. And this leads to instability, and it has a negative impact on the entire community. Now, addressing the impact and the response to homicide requires a significant investment. Yet, not addressing them is even more expensive. I needed to do something. I started the Peace Institute in 1994 with 3 goals in mind: to teach the value of peace, to focus on the assets in my community, and to transform the way society responds to homicide. We have developed the best practices in homicide response. I want to share with you our model that's in line with the Center for Disease Control social ecological framework that says intervention is needed at 3 levels in order to interrupt cycles of violence. And here's our model. First, at the family level. This is the heart of our work. Our Survivors Outreach Services works with 90% of homicide victims in the city of Boston, offering practical and emotional support in the first 24 to 72 hours after a homicide, using the step-by-step burial and resource guide that I developed. Our intergenerational justice program works with families, offers guidance and support to families whose loved ones have been incarcerated or arrested for murder. Our Leadership Academy equips families on both sides of homicide with healing practices to address the long-term impact of murder. Second, our community level. Through our Pathways to Peace curricula for elementary, middle, and high school students, our Peace from Within for incarcerated men, and our Piecing It Together for our partners in the suburbs. And third, at the society level. Our expertise are sought after by public health officials in the city of Boston and across the Commonwealth. We regularly convene stakeholders with a goal of implementing coordinated, consistent, and compassionate response to homicide. Boston Medical Center, Brigham and Women's Hospital, and Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center have all purchased and implemented the Survivors Burial and Resource Guide so that no family will have to leave the hospital empty-handed and empty-hearted the way I did when Lewis was killed. We are looking for a focused two-year investment of $400,000 to launch our Training and Technical Assistance Center, TTAC, so that we can equip thousands of providers in cities most impacted by murder with the tools they need to implement effective and equitable homicide response in their own community. I want to let you know healing, reconciliation, and accountability is possible. Why? Because we live it every day in our community. I shared with you about Charles Bogues, a young man who was convicted of killing my son. I want to let you know he is out on parole. Yet he's doing well with his family and in our community. So the invitation is open to you. Please join us in transforming society's response to homicide. Thank you.